dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke and I welcome you all to the MCGM's virtual classroom. My dear students, today in Standard 10's History, we will be learning the topic Industry and Trade. So, in this chapter, we are going to gather some information about industry and trade in India in the post-independence period. So, in this topic, we are going to talk about the industries which developed in India in the post-independence period. After India became independent, the Industrial Finance Corporation of India was established. Industrial Finance Corporation of India was established in 1948 and it was established with the purpose of making available long term loans to industrial projects. And like that, Industrial Development Corporation was established in 1954 in order to bring about of the industrial sector. What to bring about of the industrial sector? Greater development of the industrial sector. So, both the things, Industrial Finance Corporation of India was for to make available long term loans in 1948, and then Industrial Development Corporation was established in 1954 in order to bring about greater development of the industrial sector. Because you people already know that industries play very important role in boosting the economy of the country, and that is why it was at that time very important to concentrate on the industrial development of our country, and for that IFCI and IDC were established. So, in this topic we are going to talk about the industry where the things manufacture and the trade which is the thing related with the buying and selling. Now, here one by one we are going to study about the industries in India, and in this the first one, textile industry. On the screen you can see the images related with the textile industry. The textile industry forms 14% of the total industrial production, and by this one can understand the role of the textile industry in the field of industries of India. This इंडस्ट्री फॉर्म्स 14% ऑफ द टोटल इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन. मतलब हमारे देश में जितना भी इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन होता है उसमें से 14% जो है वो टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री से आता है, विच इंक्लूड्स पावरलूम एंड द हैंडलूम इंडस्ट्रीज. द हैंडलूम इंडस्ट्रीज आर लेबर इंटेंसिव and according to the Textile Committee Act 1963, a textile committee has been established, and this committee sets the quality standards for textiles manufactured for sale in the internal markets as well as for export. So, the work of the Textile Committee Act, which was established to check the quality of the product. Next to textile industry, here we will just try to understand the difference between the handloom and the powerloom. Handloom, which is manual operation; in powerloom, operated and run by electrical power. In handloom there is less production, in powerloom more investment, and that is why the more production also, low investment, high investment. Here you can see in handloom and powerloom where machines are used. A powerloom is a mechanized loom which runs by steam or electric power, and that is why it is powerloom. And in handloom you can see the word hand. So, this is the basic difference between the handloom and the powerloom. Next one, silk industry. This industry functions under the Ministry of Textiles, and the research about the species of the silkworm and mulberry trees done in the Seribiotic Research Laboratory at Bangalore. So, two things which you have to keep in mind here, silkworm and mulberry trees. This industry is primarily in the states of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal and Jammu and Kashmir. Now it is being spread in states with predominantly tribal populations also, but basically in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal and in Jammu Kashmir. Textile industry, silk industry, and the next one is jute industry. Here now in this chapter we are just trying to gather information और ओनली इंट्रोडक्टरी इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट दिस इंडस्ट्रीज. कुछ डिटेल में हम बात नहीं कर रहे, कुछ डिटेल इंफॉर्मेशन हम कलेक्ट नहीं कर रहे. वी आर जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट द इंट्रोडक्टरी sentences or the role of that particular industry in the development of our country and the nature of that particular industry. So, jute industry, India is the top ranking country in jute production. Top ranking country. We get cloth, sackcloth and ropes from jute. So, India is a major exporter of jute products as it is the top ranking country in jute production. तो export भी जो है बहुत ज़्यादा हमारे यहाँ से होता है. For this, mega cluster is a scheme that helps weavers through self-finance groups and non-governmental organizations, which help is given in the form of raw material, design, banks, development of technology and welfare of the weavers, and it is all to boost or to motivate the workers or the investors or the people who are engaged in the industries. Next one, hand sculpting. This is labor intensive craft, and sculptors got employment due to the capacity of the craft to absorb more craftsmen. Small investment is the important thing in this, then more profits. So, two things are important, small investment and more profits. Investment भी कम करनी पड़ती है और profit जो है वो ज़्यादा मिलता है, and that is why people are engaged. Sculptors got employment due to the capacity of the craft to absorb more craftsmen, small investment, more profits, preference to exports, again the important thing, and possibility of earning more foreign exchange. Why? Because preference to export, जो भी काम हो रहा है वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा export होता है, and in return what industrialists getting? More foreign exchange. So, several cities have market mechanisms like Delhi Haat, which enables the craftsmen from rural and urban areas to get a market for their wares. Here on the screen you can see. Here in this market you can get each and everything related with the hand sculpting, and such type of markets are there everywhere in our country, and nowadays people are visiting such places. Next point on the screen you can see automobile industry. India is one of the major producers of vehicles. Vehicles are exported to 40 countries from India. Just think about the number. जितनी भी गाड़ियाँ हमारे यहाँ बनती है उसमें से 40 देशों को हम हमारे यहाँ से vehicles भेजते हैं, which is a great thing. The automobile industry is called sunrise sector in India. And why it is called sunrise sector? Because number of opportunities or the possibilities are there in this industry. Employment is available. India's tractor industry is the biggest in the world. If we talk about the automobile industry, in that tractor industry is the biggest in the world. 1/3 of the tractors manufactured worldwide are produced in India. पूरी दुनिया में जितने भी ट्रैक्टर्स बनते हैं उसमें से 1/3 जो है वो सिर्फ हमारे देश में बनते हैं. एंड ट्रैक्टर्स मैन्युफैक्चर्ड इन इंडिया आर एक्सपोर्टेड टू टर्की, मलेशिया एंड several countries in Africa. So this is the great thing about automobile industry of our country. Next thing, cement industry, again very important because nowadays people are migrating from rural places to urban places, and due to that the construction business or the construction things are increasing day by day on large number, and in that cement is the important thing or the required thing without which we can't imagine construction. So cement industry, the role of cement industry is important in the development of housing and infrastructure. Nowadays roads are also of cement. अगर आपने कई जगहों पे रोड्स का कंस्ट्रक्शन देखा होगा तो बहुत जगहों पे सीमेंट के रोड बन रहे हैं. The industry is one of the most technologically advanced, and India is currently an important producer of cement in the world. Next one, Indian leather industry, which is a big industry in India and it is primarily export oriented. On the screen you can see the different things made up of leather, and we people prefer the things which are made up of leather for long lasting. Then the next industry is salt industry. Again the very important because we can't imagine our diet, we can't imagine our food without salt, which is the basic need of our diet. So India is one of the top producers of salt in the world, and if we go through the numbers, then on the screen you can see the annual production of salt in India is 200 lakh tons. पूरे साल में इतना प्रोडक्शन होता है साल्ट का. The production of iodized salt is 60 lakh tons, and by this number you can understand the hugeness of the salt industry in India, or how big is the salt industry in India. Next one, bicycle industry. Now this is what is related with you people. You people may use bicycle. India is a leading producer of bicycles in the world. Bicycles are made in the states of Punjab and Tamil Nadu. The main center of bicycle manufacturing in India is Ludhiana. India exports bicycles to countries like Nigeria, Mexico, Kenya, Uganda and Brazil. So we can say that the bicycles of India are famous in the world, and we people are a leading producer of bicycles in the world. हर घर में एक ना एक बाइसिकल होती ही होती है हमारे यहाँ पे, और आजकल तो उसमें बहुत एडवांस्ड बाइसिकल्स भी आ रही है, जैसे बाइसिकल विद गियर एंड द इलेक्ट्रिक बाइसिकल्स आर आल्सो देयर. एंड द मोस्ट important thing about the bicycle is that using bicycle is very eco-friendly because we don't need petrol or any other thing for that. Next one, Khadi and village industry. The Khadi and Village Industries Commission was established to give impetus to industrialization in rural areas, to boost or to motivate or to do something for this industry. The main objective behind the establishment of the corporation were to develop the traditional industries, to develop the handicrafts, then to cottage industries, and to encourage industries that use the material and human resources available at the local level and make the villages self-reliant by creating employment there. So, the thought is very pure here, to think about the village, to think about the people who are in village, and to think about creating or making availability of resources for the people and to use human resource also. So, Khadi and village industry, and the next one in this is agriculture. As we know, our country is agrarian country. We are directly or indirectly dependent on the agriculture. So, in India, agriculture is practiced using traditional and modern methods. In traditional, if we talk, then all the old methods using animals are there, and if we talk about modern methods, then just now we talked about the automobile industry and how the tractor is important in automobile industry. Like that, it is important in agriculture also, because nowadays number of things are practiced by using tractor in agriculture. Many agricultural tasks are performed using bullocks, and similarly machines are being used in different tasks like in plowing, sowing to harvesting and threshing, etc. So, on the screen you can see here in the pictures. The major occupations in India is agriculture. Major occupation in India is agriculture and other tasks based on agriculture. So, agriculture and animal husbandry are practiced in villages, because of which we can get milk, because of which we get meat and all other products related with the animal husbandry. 70% of the Indian society depends upon jobs related to agriculture and agricultural productions. Directly or indirectly, number of people in our country dependent on agriculture. So, in this industry, the participation of women is equal to that of men. So, the role of women also is very important in practicing agriculture. Now, if you talk about the crops, major crops of our country, then the first thing which we have to understand is that agriculture is practiced in different seasons in India, and many varieties of crops are grown. If we talk about food grains, then the crops that are used for human consumption, which includes jawar, wheat, rice, pulses and oil seeds, which are mainly produced. It also includes commercial crops, crops which are grown for sale either in raw form or in semi processed form, which includes cotton, jute, sugarcane, tobacco and oil seeds. Then the plantation crops, crops which are grown on plantation covering large estates, for example tea, coffee, coconut and rubber. Then horticulture, sections of agriculture in which fruits and vegetables are grown. So, here fruits and vegetables are important. So, basically we can say that the agriculture fulfills man's basic needs, because food and the shelter and not only food, shelter, but all other needs which are directly or indirectly related with the agriculture. Clothes is also there. In order to encourage farming, loans are given to farmers through rural banks and cooperative institutions. In India, number of schemes and policies are running continuously to increase the development in the field of agriculture. So, India is rapidly becoming independent in food grain production and farming techniques. Modern techniques like drip irrigation, organic farming are used for farming. Now on the screen, mineral wealth. The availability of the minerals, iron and coal plays a major role in the industrial development of the country, because this is what is the raw material required for the formation of many or the manufacture of many things. We have adequate stores of iron, manganese, coal and mineral oil in our country. So, if we talk about the policy of the central government, then according to the industrial licensing policy of 1970, all those factories acquiring an investment of more than 5 crore rupees were to be included as heavy industries, and the big industrial houses and foreign companies were allowed to invest in heavy industries, and that were not reserved for the public sector, and which results into the 3,18,000 small industries were registered with the government registration office. Now next one, forest resources of India or forest resources. You people already learned about this in the natural resources, that how forest fulfill our needs or how forest resources are important in our daily life. Government reserved some forests for the industries based on forests. The task of conservation of the forest is done by the central government, the state government and by the local people, and it is very important, it is very necessary not only for the human being, but for the food chains or for the habitat in that particular forest. So, forests are necessary for the raw material for industries like construction, for paper, for newsprint, for silk, for matchboxes, for medicinal herbs, for honey, for lacquer and raw material needed for paint. So, by this we can understand that there are number of industries which are based on the resources of forest for raw material. अगर फॉरेस्ट से वो रॉ मटेरियल नहीं मिलेगा, फॉरेस्ट रिसोर्सेज से वो रॉ मटेरियल नहीं मिलेगा, तो वो इंडस्ट्रीज आगे चल ही नहीं पाएगी. एंड दैट इज वाई फॉरेस्ट रिसोर्सेज आर वेरी important. Now the next thing, fisheries. Fisheries include seawater fish and freshwater fish found in rivers, canals, ponds and lakes. In seawater fish, fish found in sea or in ocean, and in the freshwater fish it includes fish found in rivers, in canals, in ponds and in lakes. Harbors have been built or old harbors have been redeveloped. Fish seed incubation centers and fishing industry training centers have been provided for the growth of this industry. On the screen you can see the present status of inland fisheries. India, the second largest producer of inland fish in the world, with a production of around 4.65 in 2008, 9 and 4.93 in the 2019. The share of inland fisheries sector to the total fish production has gone up to over 61.6%. West Bengal leads in inland fish production, which contributes to about 28% of the total production of the country, followed by Andhra, which is 20%. Then currently aquaculture contributes to over 80% of the total inland fish production, and there are currently about 1400 inland fishing villages in the country. By these numbers you can understand development in the field of fishing or in fisheries. Then one more which is very important, tourism industry. As we know, our country is rich cultural heritage. India having rich cultural heritage, and not only places of worship, but the rivers and the fort and caves were there. And as in our country, number of religions are there, so the places of worship of different religions and the pilgrimage, अलग अलग religion के अलग अलग caste के अलग अलग places है. Tourists from our country as well as from abroad travel in India throughout the year, and the facilities for tourists to stay, travel, etc. are provided through the Tourism Development Corporation. Sale of curious and the hotel industry thrives in tourist places. In some places, there are guides who give information to tourists about that area, and it is very important to have guide while traveling from one place to another, or to know something about any particular place. So there are guides who give information. जैसे किसी फोर्ट पे विजिट आप कर रहे हैं, फोर्ट पे आप गए हैं और वहाँ पर उस फोर्ट के बारे में आपको पता करना है, तो वहाँ पर लोकल गाइड्स होते हैं. और यू आर विजिटिंग ताजमहल, वेरी फेमस इन इंडिया, और एनी केव like Ajanta, Ellora. So if you want to know something special about that particular place, then you need to have guide will give you information about that particular place. Sometimes when vehicles don't reach the destination in some remote and difficult to reach tourist places, the local people help the tourist in return for a fee. So employment opportunities are generated out of these needs, and nowadays tourism industry is on its peak because people are moving from one place to another place trying to explore the life. Now the next point in this is import, export or foreign trade. When planning started in 1951, the import of industrial goods and raw material required for production increased. India's imports included machines, iron, mineral oil, fertilizers, medicines. India also gave impetus to exports after independence in order to gain valuable foreign exchange, because foreign exchange play very important role in the development. So India's exports includes tea, coffee, spices for which we are famous in the world, cotton textiles, leather, footwear, pearls, precious stones, etc. So try to understand. Our imports include machines, iron, mineral oil, fertilizers, medicines. ये सारी चीज़ें है हमारी import में. एंड इन एक्सपोर्ट जो हम बाहर भेजते हैं उसमें टी, कॉफ़ी, स्पाइसेस, कॉटन टेक्सटाइल्स, लेदर, फुटवेयर, पर्ल्स, प्रीसियस स्टोन्स, ये सारी चीज़ें हैं. And now the next one, internal trade, like import export, which is foreign trade, and internal trade is the trade within the country. India's internal trade takes place via railways, waterways, roads, airways, etc. And in this, ports like Mumbai, Kolkata, Cochin and Chennai are important. And the commodities like coal, cotton, cotton textiles, rice, wheat, raw jute, iron, steel, oil seeds, salt, sugar, etc. are included in internal trade. Now, what exactly the development we are having due to the development in the field of industry or in the field of trade? So, due to the development of industries, the standard of life in the country improves, because development of industries provide opportunities in the field of occupation or in the field of employment, which gives money in the hand of people, and because of that the standard of life of the people increases, also the per capita income of the country increases, many opportunities for employment become available, and on the whole it helps in the progress of the country. किसी भी एक पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्री में ग्रोथ होने की वजह से अगर सारी इंडस्ट्रीज़ में थोड़ी थोड़ी ग्रोथ होती जाती है तो इससे हमारी कंट्री की इकोनॉमी जो है वो डेवलप होने में बहुत ही ज़्यादा फ़ायदा होता है, और इट प्ले वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन इम्प्रूविंग द इकोनॉमी ऑफ द country. So if we want to summarize the lesson, or if we want to summarize the role of the industries in the development of the economy, then we can end it with the sentence that it helps in the progress of the country. So in today's chapter we discussed about the industry and trade, and in that textile industry, silk industry, jute industry, hand sculpting, automobile industry, cement industry, leather industry, salt industry, bicycle industry, khadi and village industry, then the agriculture, policy of the central government to boost or to give impetus to the industries, then mineral wealth, forest resources, fisheries, tourism, and then the concept of import export and the role of internal trade in developing the economy of our country.
Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get notifications.
So my dear students, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.